GTA 6 is cooked. The most anticipated game in history. No, actually, the most anticipated event in human history. And Rockstar has fully decided to embrace wokeness. Yes, it's not even bad, it's absolutely the worst situation ever. With all of the stuff that we know about GTA 6 that we have in the last month alone, there's no disputing it. It's gonna be a disaster. Previously, we could have said, "Oh, this is just a misunderstanding. This could be good. This could be fine." But no, with all the news that we have had in the last month, especially honestly the last week, there's no saving GTA 6. It's gonna be woke slop 100%. There is no way that this can be denied. Especially now that we have videos of the people that Rockstar let go in their offices in Britain. Not a single normal person in sight, by the way. It is absolutely unbelievable what you're gonna see. Okay? It was already bad when the CEO said, "Oh, we're not gonna actually be targeting groups of people. We're gonna be lenient. We're gonna be kind. Bad things cannot happen to these certain individuals." That was already a red flag. And now, after hearing that, you hear that they're gonna be having pride events, pride parades in the game. Oh boy, you know how that's gonna end. You know you're not gonna be able to do anything. You know that's gonna be the situation. And it honestly just gets even worse. I mean, look at this. Not a single person in this video even talks about what they did for the game. They're just activists. It is as bad as it gets. Look.
In this corner across the road is the offices of Rockstar North, where you can see a demonstration is just starting to take place in which the fired union members have come together to rally support and to speak to their co-workers who remain at the studio.
I was hired as a junior in 2016, and for the past 9 years, I could not have hoped for a better group of colleagues, mentors, and most of all, friends. I grew from a graduate to a senior, every day living and breathing Rockstar's games, Rockstar's technology, and Rockstar's community. They became a part of me, and I of them.
By the way, working for a company for 9 years straight is diabolical in the first place.
On Thursday, when I was fired without warning, without process, and without representation, I felt like a part had been ripped out of me. I was not even allowed to say goodbye. I was in complete shock. Shock that the company to which I had given so much of my labour, my passion, my...
I mean, yeah, look at this. These are the people that were let go. And the people who are staying are probably are as bad as this. Except they're probably not in the union, which is hilarious, okay? Remember, if you want to stump your career growth, go and join a union, okay? I literally, by the way, I'm not kidding when I say this, I literally know companies that are worth $100 million that are currently working in my country that have flat out said, if you people decide to unionize, we're just gonna shut offices here and move to another country. It's that simple. That is the most blatant example how bad unions are. A company that is doing fine and is worth more than 100 million at this point is literally gonna just close up shop and find another country to work in if people decide to unionize. If that doesn't tell you everything, I don't know what will.
Stand up for workers' rights! My friends are inside that building right there. And the one over there. But they are scared. They're scared for their jobs and they're scared to speak up, and I can't blame them.
I don't think they're scared to speak up, honestly. They weren't in the union.
For it. But I'm not, and clearly none of you here are either.
From your perspective, this is because you're a union organizer.
Well, it's hard to deny the connection that all of us in the UK who were fired were union members. I think I've been
AKA useless.
vocal about my stance as well, so I was not surprised. I didn't expect anything like this to ever happen because of the strong union protections in the UK. But I suppose I'm not surprised.
And
The weak always will flock together and try to shame the strong into listening to them because there's a lot of people saying you're wrong. That is the tactics of the weak. Unions perfectly represent the weak.
by the sounds of it, you weren't a million miles away from statutory recognition when it happened, right? You'd hit 10% membership. The kind of end goal is in sight, at least, when this took place.
By the way, the irony of the fact that Rockstar is probably a company that spouts all this woke nonsense and probably does the whole, oh, we're a giant family here and we're friendly, a LARP and blah blah blah, but the moment that you unionize, you actually get fired. It's probably the most hilarious thing ever on a certain level.
Yeah, we were very close, and I don't know if you know, but there's some new laws coming in 2026, the Workers' Rights Bill, which would have changed how the process is done, and it would have made things even easier. Like, things were hard right now, but they would have changed the process. So, in my personal opinion, if this was gonna happen from management side, now was a good time before the next year.
And can you give me an idea of your own personal circumstances in this? What does being fired in this way mean for you as an individual?
By the way, in this video, there's not a single question about, so what did you actually do with your at working for this company? Because I have this strange feeling that none of these people actually did anything. Okay, don't get me wrong, Rockstar is still woke, but I have an extremely strong suspicion these people did not actually do any of the, you know, even remotely useful stuff, even as woke.
If I have gross misconduct on my CV, on my resume for the rest of my life, that is a huge detriment to any future career prospect.
Based.
Something important to notice as well is you feel shame.
Also, this is not probably true. Okay, she's in the UK. Maybe the UK laws are slightly different, but as far as I know, maybe it's probably definitely different in the US, by the way. But I think the UK should have adopted the same thing as pretty much most of Europe. And that is that in Europe, by the way, it is illegal for someone hiring you contacting your previous workplace now without your permission. If you don't want your new employer to be checking in on your background in your previous workplace, they are not allowed to do that. If they do, they can literally get sued and fined and whatnot. So I'm pretty sure she's protected from that. I have no fucking idea where on the CV, by the way, she's supposed to put or receive or whatever this gross misconduct. Also, by the way, I'm just gonna be real with you. Gross misconduct sounds 100% and 100 times more better for career growth opportunities than was in a union type of deal. Okay, again, unions are weakness. If you want to completely be stagnant and just give a percent of your monthly pay to a union so the people at the head there can go on vacations, by all means, go ahead, do that. But don't be surprised when you have absolutely no growth opportunities because you're an idiot.
To be kicked out of work this way, like, all of us still want to be here, we want our jobs, we want to finish what we were working on, and now the internal shame.
What were they working on? I would love to just give you a timestamp of what they were working on, but I have no idea. At no point does anyone even mention what they were working on here. By the way, that's a nice Naruto necklace, 10 out of 10. It's so unbelievably bad.
I think the thing I felt.
I think there's more coming.
That's true, yeah. So far, but yeah, I think immediately in the meeting, it was just this profound sense of loss. Not only this career we've been building, but also the idea that we thought that we could.
What kind of career have you been building for 10 years, working at the same place and being just this easily replaceable? Bro, you have not been creating a career. How long did this guy work here? 11 years. 11 years! Bro, you don't have a career. It's a miracle they didn't get rid of you faster, honestly. 11 years. Probably at like some kind of entry-level position still. That's a joke.
Build a better workplace, work directly with, you know, our workers, but also work directly with the management in doing that. And at every opportunity, I think we were.
Yes, because management definitely loves the idea of someone who is completely incapable of doing their job properly, even remotely, right? Telling now management how management should do their jobs. Oh my lord.
Trying to adhere to policy, try to do things in a way that doesn't ruffle feathers, that does things that, as far as we were concerned, aligned with the company's values. And then for this to...
Okay, I can absolutely not tell, is it hot outside or is it cold outside? Jackets, and this guy's like, look at this. This guy's just, that's a shirt, that's just a shirt.
Try to do things in a way that
And look
doesn't
at
ruffle
that.
feathers.
And there's a woman here. She's also dressed like for the summer. Like, what is happening? Is the UK even a real place?
Things that, as far as we were concerned, aligned with the company's values. And then for this to happen, it raises a lot of questions about where our values are versus their values.
Obviously, to be
like, you're working at a job. The fuck? Why are you talking about values here? What? Are you going to your workplace to get values, or are you going to workplace to get money? Jesus, like, well, these fucking millennials that just get that work like this, I completely am incapable of understanding how the hell do their brains even function. It's like, wait, do you think you think you're supposed to work for like in one place for 50 years, bro? Like, what the hell?
Fired immediately with gross misconduct as the reasoning, with no process attached to that. The threshold for that to happen to an employee in this country remains reasonably high. How confident are you guys in fighting this?
By the time I had left the doors, I had already been contacted by the IWGB legal team, and by 10 a.m. we were all in a Zoom call, like discussing what happened and what they were already sort of putting together, outlining what was going to happen next. So it immediately became clear we were in very, very good hands. It feels like.
Yep, I'm sure.
Right now, I know I'm not alone, and it's heartbreaking because right now, when we should be more united and focused on the project than ever, most of us are scared, hurt, and feel uncertain. This situation helps no one.
Can you, like, very quickly describe like what the relationship is between IWGB and the Rockstar Union for people who don't understand how?
This is such garbage. Like, how do you make a video like this and not even ask a single person? Whoa, what are you actually doing? I think I know the answer. I think I know the answer why there's no questions of what you actually did in your work, because these people probably didn't fucking do anything. Okay? The only reason most people, by the way, join a union because someone tells them, hey, it's gonna be harder to fire you if you join a union. That's like the typical union selling point, by the way. Hey, it's gonna be harder to fire you if you join the union. And every trash, and typically the average trash is like, hell yes. So this is why I think not a single clip of this video is talking about what these people actually did in GTA 6. Now, granted, I probably don't want to know what they did because it would probably just put me in a depressive mood, considering it's clear that GTA 6 is dead on arrival. Well, it is what it is. In any case, what channel even was that? Oh yeah, People Make Games. Ugh. Horrible video. In any case, have a nice day. Bye.